We have had a bit of a nightmare with the old pug. Grab them actually. At least you've got the garage sort of back. Bathrooms pretty much fitted now. Ladies, gentlemen, let me move this shit out of the way. Welcome back. I'm holding this. What is this? An aux belt. Today has been one of those days where anything that could have gone wrong probably has gone wrong. So this morning, first thing, engine light on the dash. I'm thinking it's probably Cat O2 sensor, something like that, because it's been before. Anyway, I didn't think anything of it. I'm driving back from work today, and I heard what sounded like dirt under the car. I thought my cat was blowing out. It was that loud. And then a big battery warning light and blah, 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 all that shit. Stop logo on there. Anyway, it was this. Well, not this one. Let me show you the remains. I mean, half of it's down the M5. But this is the remains of the fucking auxiliary belt. Now, while I've got it, I'm just going to check it's about the right size. Yeah, cool. Anyway, yeah. It absolutely shit itself. And I'm not going to say it was a surprise, because I did notice, when obviously with the oil leak and stuff, that the belt was looking a bit dry and cracked. So in that aspect, cool. It wasn't that bad, which is making me think maybe something caused it. I don't know. Anyway, I need to get this on. I haven't got a lot of time. I've got shit to do today. I'm in work tomorrow, and I'm hoping it was just that this one dried out, that this one will be able to fix it. Hope. All I've done is take the tensioner off and basically inspect everything. If I open this up, all I've done so far is this here, which is like a 30, I think it's 30 mil, which is the tensioner for the belt. And then down there you can see it's still a bit of an oil leak, but there's no oil. I checked the alternator, that still spins nice and freely. I haven't checked this. Yeah, that still spins nice and freely. The actual tensioner spins freely, so it looks like it would just end of its time, and that was that. So basically, I'm just going to try and jack up the car. Hopefully I can get like access from just underneath it by just jacking it up, sliding underneath, under tray off, and I should be able to just slip the belt on, put the tensioner back on, and it works. Funny enough, I did actually order an auxiliary belt, the front main seal, and a couple other bits, literally 2 days ago. So I'm still waiting for that. So I had to go out and buy another one. So I'm going to have another belt, which is, I guess, not too bad, because oil degrades rubber anyway. So there's still a bit of an oil leak. Hopefully we can sort that. We'll replace the belt again. I mean, it's for the sake of like a tenner, it's not really. It's like a no-brainer, right? So yeah, let me jack the car up. Once I'm under there and got the under tray off, we can carry on. Hopefully this won't take too long. Like I said, I haven't got a lot of time. So, all right, car's up. We get this under tray off nice and quickly. Yep. Oh my gosh, there's some more belt. Yeah, it looks like I can get to it from here. Shit me, it looks like it just absolutely shredded. Let me check that out. It just diced itself. Interesting, now the belt's off, you can see it's leading itself to be a crankshaft seal, which is under here, which is good. Well, not good, but better than expected. So I should be able to pull this out and hook it on onto here. Okay, cool. And now that's free. Water pump moves nice and freely. Obviously that's connected to the engine, so that won't move. That moves, and that moves nice and freely, and that moves nice and freely. So it looks like the belt just had enough. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any other, just oil. No damage to the rad. No damage to what seems like anything else. It just looks like there's loads of oil coming out of there, which is fine. We'll sort that. That's in the future. That was actually the next video planned, but well, I'll try and get some more. Yeah, it just looks like it's just dripping everywhere. Okay, right. I'm going to try and set you up so you can see what I'm doing, but I can't really promise anything. I think I'm gonna just Google quickly which way this goes before committing. Hopefully you can see. Just give me 2 seconds to Google. I'm pretty sure there's no direction. Em's just arrived home, as you can hear. In a working caddy, which is great news. So this goes round here, like that. Because I can get more leverage this way. I can pull it down a bit. Okay, cool. Hey you! Check this. Have you seen my story? Yeah. Have you seen the state of the belt?
Yeah, you showed me the story.
Mate, I swear to God, I thought I blew my cat out. It's the loudest noise ever. I thought I blew the engine.
How's it even happening?
Well, it was cracked before. I think it's from where the oil's got on it. It's dried it out. Anyway, I'm installing a new one. It shouldn't take too long, but... Yeah, also, I've had a look, and it looks like it's the main seal. But funny enough, in that order for the main seal and the track rod end and everything, I bought one of those fucking belts. It's due here in like a couple of days. Just by chance, it fucking...
Meaning I'm driving now.
Oh, I've literally, look here. You see that belt? I'm literally just put it on. Now, down there.
Oh.
I just need to undo this tensioner so it puts tension on it, and I'm going to start it, and hopefully, the only thing I could think that could have been fucked is if the water pump wasn't on, it could have fucked, like overheat the head of the engine, blew a head gasket. Hopefully not. I literally, as soon as I heard it, I just stopped. Yeah. Well, I was like 2 minutes away from home, so I like cruised at like 40. But it was awful. You gotta listen to the cameras when I came back. Awful. Anyway, so the belt is on. It routes around the crank, through that fucking thing, the water pump tensioner, and then through the alternator. So it's all on there. What I'm going to do now is just undo this. So I basically got to put a 30mm spanner on that, and then just like wrench it down, and then this little screw here holds it. So I'm going to do that and let go of the tension, and then we can tighten the water pump tensioner. This one wasn't too bad, but I did use I've used my massive like torque wrench, so it's a bit tight in there. Okay, nice and easy. Like I said, it's a bit tight, but so now you can see we have tension on it, so that little tensioner. Now with a bit of luck, move under here, we can just double check. Get the light back on for you. Like, can you see me? I always look for my hand. It's the best way of showing it. So, having a look, looks like we've got some good tension. All the grooves are lined up, tension is on there. So the last thing we've got to do is this little water pump one. So it's literally the reverse of what we just done. So this thing up here, we just got to pull that. And that's it, it's on now. So you're nice and tight, so yeah, that's fine. So these should all be tight now, yeah, look, tight. And that's obviously clutched, so that's tight. And that should be tight, yeah, cool. Right, I'm gonna start it up exactly as it is. No thing, no under tray, nothing. So you can, if anything goes bang, it'll be funny as fuck, won't it? I've also got to look at the engine light. Oh, fuck knows what that was. So you can see it's all on, it's spinning. It's very quiet as well, which is good. We still have a battery charge fault. A load of lights on the dash. Obviously park and brake because we're in the air, but still a battery. So lower the car and then just clear the codes. And I can also, when the OBD's plugged in, I can also check the voltage to the alternator anyway. So, but it all looks good. If I get my light on there, it's all moving alright, as expected. Water pump's not spinning yet. That only spins when it's engaged by that tensioner. That side's dried up as well. I did have a look when they were down here last cleaning the engine. No more gearbox side leaks. It lines up with what I was thinking. Water pump's kicked in, as you can see. Water pump's off. That's cool that you can actually see that. There you go. I'm hoping the alternator's not buggered. Anyway, turn the car off and bolt the thing up, go for a little drive. Like I said, I've got somewhere to be in a minute, so. Still battery charge fault. But much, much quieter. In the boot, getting the scanner. This thing's good, man. Before I did the sponsorship, I did use this for a while. It's sick. So this is the Think Car, like OBD Bluetooth scanner thing. It tells you everything, and it can access all the individual like modules and stuff, which on like Fords, Peugeots, that sort of stuff, can be quite useful because it tells you a lot more than what the just generic OBD stuff tells you. I'm expecting the engine management light is upstream O2 sensor. Anyway, ignition. We're going to turn this thing on. We want to go to Peugeot. I'll hide this bit because it says my VIN number, and I don't want you guys knowing my VIN number because bad things can happen if you guys know my VIN number. Actually, you dodgy lot, I know what you like. Basically, you just got to select your car. So I've chose Peugeot, car, 308, and then 308_T9. Now, what I'm going to do is, if I go diagnosis, I just do a whole health report. This is going to scan everything. You're going to hear a load of noises on the dash and everything, but this is like going through each individual module. So even like the steering, you can hear it going. But all the stuff, right? It's just going to scan everything and tell me everything. It's found a lot. There are some mandatory codes, so don't be scared. There will be a lot. And the mandatory codes are like just from remapping and bulbs and stuff like that. So there's nothing, I know which ones they are and I'll show you, but I'm not too worried yet. If I scroll up, it's 2 engine ECU codes. Normally there's only one, and the one being configuration error or something like that. So here we go. So right rear direction, rear, so that's fine. Battery voltage fault, permanent. Now I think that, so lack of cohesion status between the status of engine starting switch and the status of built-in blah, 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 engine starting authorization output. Whatever that means. Here we go. Engine upstream oxygen sensor signal failed. Internal fault temporary. That's fine. Controlled alternator mechanical failure. I think that's because we didn't have a belt, so that's fine. Blah blah blah. Parking assistance. Blah blah blah. Secure configuration fault, and then we're all good. So if we clear, yes, we can clear them, start it up, and we're all good. Currently the battery's at 12.55 volts. It's saying, so hopefully we clear this, turn the ignition off on, start it, everything's smooth, sounds nice. So here we go, here's the last of them. Configuration fault 3. All right, 12.54 volts, ignition off, let's start it fresh. So battery charge fault, we're at 12.54 volts. That's not looking good. The fucking AC on in there. I'm just trying to rev it up a little bit. I'm just going to go into the engine ECU, but it's not charging. Oh! 14.24. 14.3. It's kicking back in. No diagnostics treble code, apparently. 14.3. It's kicked right back in. Communicating. It's a big red stoplight. Battery voltage. And fault event, blah, blah, blah. So basically, B1626 is the code. I'm hoping we can just clear it. Yeah, so fault event not stored in the faults log, but it's permanent. So if I restart, what happens if I just restart? Okay, it's still not happy. But we are charging, 14.26. Clear fault codes, let's just do it. Clear, done. Not happy camper. Right, it's a Peugeot, so it might just be one of these things that it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live data read, and hopefully with the live data read I can see the live output of the voltage. Currently it's sat at 14.24. Management of electrical energy. So I want, oh my god, there is loads of options. What the hell? Alternator reference voltage. Right, here we go. So you can see currently 14.4 volts at the alternator, 14.2 at the battery. Charge status is at the bottom. So battery charge estimation status, nominal. Whoa! 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 It's gone! It's gone! It's gone! I told you. Fucking French things, Jesus. It's getting the life out of me. Anyway, if you put it in reverse, there's like a launch control, but less RPM. See, and then you put it in first, it does launch control. And then obviously if you let the clutch out, it'll go full. We're looking, sounds nice and quiet. Good success, she didn't blow up. But that is all, gents and ladies, don't forget the ladies. That is all. A nice little curveball. It's like Piper knows the channel, right? She's like, you little bastard, you haven't uploaded in 10 days. I'm gonna give you something to upload about. The funny thing is, I've started recording the start of the other video. Piper, don't start doing this now, yeah? I preach good things about you, but when you go and do stuff like this, guys, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, like, all that bollocks. Join, become a member if you fancy. Support the channel. Comment down below. Other than that, hopefully we'll do some more fixing. No mods just yet, but trust me, bits have arrived. I'm working on something. I'm gonna cook. I'll see you soon.